Hi Kenzie, I'm Daniel. I'm your physical therapist today.
Nice to meet you.
So Kenzie's performing the Astrand cycle submaximal exercise test. What that does is we're going to try to estimate your aerobic capacity, which with that estimation can kind of get an idea of how much oxygen your body can uptake when you're exercising. It gives us an idea of your fitness and how hard we can work you out. And it's a submaximal exercise test, so we're hoping to get her in that steady state range during the exercise. So Kenzie's been warming up for about 2 minutes, a little over 2 minutes now. On the bike. She's at 25 watts for the warm-up, keeping it around 50 revolutions per minute there. Looks great. Before she started this warm-up, I took her vitals, and her resting heart rate was 60 beats per minute, and her blood pressure was 112/72, which is in a great healthy range there. And then just about 30 seconds ago, I took her vitals again. During the warm-up, her blood pressure was 118/72, so a little bit of an increase in the systolic blood pressure there, and her heart rate was 72 with the RPE of 8. I explained to Kenzie the RPE scale before we started, knows that it starts at 6 and increases so forth there. And so Kenzie's a healthy, active female. She works out 3 to 4 times a week for about 45 minutes to an hour. She has no cardiovascular disease, no risk factors as well. And due to that, a little bit of an increase in systolic blood pressure, but everything else looking pretty good during this warm-up so far. So we can assume that she's ready to proceed with the test here. So I'm going to bump you up to about 75 watts for your workload. Perfect. All right, and start that timer there. So keep going here for about 2 minutes. Keep that at 50 revolutions per minute, and I'll take your vitals again. So when we set Kenzie up on the bike, we measured the height of the seat to be at the greater trochanter of the femur, and then just made sure she had around 5 to 10 degrees of knee flexion during one cycle there. So it looks great. And we also want Kenzie's heart rate to be in a range of 60 to 85% of her maximum. So I did a calculation to get her maximum heart rate, which using the formula with her age puts her at 192 beats per minute. So with 60 to 85%, that puts you about 115 to 163 beats per minute that we're looking to stay in that submaximal range there. Everything feeling okay so far? Perfect. Any questions as we get going? Looks great, keeping it at 50 there. And approaching a minute here, so then we'll go 1 more minute. And then take your vitals again there. How's your morning going so far?
It's going good.
Good. Any fun plans for the rest of the day?
No, just running errands.
Just running errands. Can't get away from them.
No.
About 30 seconds there. Set this down and get ready to take those vitals in about 25 seconds now. And any questions about the RPE scale that you have for me?
Mm-mm.
Perfect. 10 more seconds. Just gonna grab that wrist. All right. Perfect. So heart rate's right at 120 beats per minute. Take your blood pressure now. Thank you. Got your blood pressure at 126/74. So slight increase there in the systolic, diastolic, relatively the same there. So normal response to exercise, looking great. And what's your RPE at, would you say?
About 11.
11? Perfect. pretty light there, so looking good so far. So a little over 3.5 minutes have passed. We'll get another about 1.5 minutes, and then we'll take your vitals again. I'm going to take a few kind of back to back to see if you're in that steady state range there. But keep it up for just a little over 1 minute now again. Good. Keep that right at 50 there. Great, good job. Awesome. Any other symptoms, signs that you're feeling? No? Maybe breaking a little sweat?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. Just a little over 30 seconds here. So this time I'm going to take your heart rate first, and your blood pressure, and then hopefully about 1 minute we'll have passed, and we'll take your heart rate one more time. Hopefully you're in that steady state. And if not, we'll continue with the test until we reach that steady state. We'll see. It's about 20 more seconds here. Perfect. Grab that wrist. Perfect. Perfect. So that puts you at 148 for your heart rate. And what's your RPE at, would you say, right now?
13.
13? Perfect. Take that blood pressure again. Perfect. Blood pressure was 128/72. We'll take that heart rate one more time. That last heart rate was 152. Perfect. So after 5 minutes, heart rate was at 148 beats per minute. This last time was at 152 beats per minute. And RPE after about the 6 minutes?
Still 13.
Still 13? Perfect. All right, so between the 5 and 6 minutes, her heart rate was at 148, 152, so that's within that 5 beats per minute, so we can assume that she's at steady state, and we've reached the completion of this Astrand test. So going to bump you back down to about 25 watts again, and then we'll continue this workout, or this cool down, excuse me, for about 3 to 5 minutes, and I'll continue to take your vitals for every 2 to 3 minutes within that range, just to monitor your cardiovascular response, but everything's been looking great from the test so far. So that's the complete of the Astrand test. Good work, Kenzie.
Thank you.